What up, everyone? It's that time of the month, or that time of next month, because we're a month behind. But anyway, it's that time to do the monthly review, the ultimate unboxing, and put these boxes head to head and find out which one's the best. So, if any of you are tuning into this channel for the first time, hi, welcome. Come on, come join us. Have a seat. So, this channel, what is it all about? Basically, monthly subscription boxes. There are so many of them out there, it's hard to decide which one's the best. So I made this channel to help you, the viewer, decide which box is best for you. So I'm here just trying to be helpful and doing the best I can. So take what you will from that. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I have 12 boxes this month, and I'm going to put them in order from 12 to 1, go from the bottom to the top, talk a little bit about each box, briefly describe what was in there. I'll show a quick picture of it for each box, and then just see which one's the best. And keep in mind, I put these in order, but this isn't a definitive order. This is just to give you an idea of where things lie in accordance with each other. They may be totally different for you. It's just to give you an idea, though. So don't get too caught up on exact numbers or ratings or anything like that. So if you have questions, or if you want to know specifics about the box, there are individual videos for each one of these boxes. So feel free to go to my channel and check out any individual box unboxing to see what's inside for like in-depth details. So if you're looking for a channel that has just some quick reviews and some pictures of what's in the box, you've definitely come to the wrong place. That's not what we're about here at all. This is all about in-depth reviews, in-depth analysis, really tearing things down and seeing what makes these boxes tick, and really seeing like what makes them better and what could make them possibly better. So if you're looking for short videos, move along. Like, I won't be offended. Go somewhere else, because this is going to be a very long video. But that's just kind of what it takes. Anyway, so things to note before we get started is that I've heard a lot that sometimes the things I say may come across as negative or condescending or things like that. I just want to let you know right now, everything I say about these boxes, none of it is a complaint. I'm never complaining about any of these boxes. That's not what I do. I have no complaints about these boxes. I love them. I wouldn't order 12 of them a month, if sometimes more than that, if I didn't like them. So nothing of what I say is a complaint. It's just an explanation. It's a review. It's me analyzing things to try and help you guys understand what's going to be better for you. So don't take anything I say as criticism. I never want to criticize anyone or any box company. I'm never bashing any of these companies. I think they're all great and have a lot to offer. And again, I'm not trying to be condescending or anything like that. Keep in mind, I'm not some like all-knowing, all-seeing like judgment lord of boxes. I'm just a regular guy. I'm no different than anyone that's watching this right now. I just am trying to help out. I'm just trying my best to help you guys by giving my opinion. If it's not helpful, no worries, no big deal, right? So, that being said, I just have to get that out of the way every time because I hear complaints all the time. So, keep all that in mind, and yeah, so let's just jump right into this and get started with number 12. One more thing to note. Grab number 12. So, I've been doing this for a while now, and we've kind of, if anyone's been keeping up with the channel, we've kind of weeded out a lot of the bad boxes. I gave UK boxes a chance for a while, and they didn't work out, so I've canceled a lot of boxes. So the ones you see here, these 12, are kind of the best of the best. I had up to almost 21 month, and I do new ones each month, so I've kind of weeded out the bad eggs as of right now, and I haven't tried anything new for a while. So this month is kind of the best of the best, so it's much harder to put them in place. Months before, it was very easy because some boxes were obviously horrible and some boxes were obviously good. This month isn't like that. This month, they're all very close in rating. They were all very close together on the rating scale, so it's much more difficult. So like I said, don't get caught up on specific placements of each box. It's just a general idea. So enough talking. Let's start with number 12. Number 12 was Geek Me Box. And you know, this box, it's always just been okay. Next month, the month of August, these are the boxes of the month of July, by the way. I know I'm way behind, but doing what I can. So, for July, in the month of August, that's the last month I'll be getting Geek Me Box. It's officially canceled after that. And this box is always just kind of skated by. it's never been bad. I've never gotten like a bad box and been upset about it and wasted my money, but it's never been stellar either. It's never been like top notch. So it's just kind of coasted. And this month was probably one of their worst boxes they've done. A lot of people said, I'll be showing pictures of it right now, that a lot of the stuff in the box was junk. Not my opinion, but that's a lot of the opinion I got. A lot of it was junk. Not really useful, not really cool or special. It was just kind of there, and the t-shirt was just okay, and there wasn't a lot of items in there, and the value wasn't high, and it got the lowest rating of the month. So again, not a bad box. It's definitely worth a try. You at least get your money's worth at the very least, but as far as the other boxes were concerned, it just couldn't stand up to it. And the month after this, like, it was just okay as well. So it's sad to see any company go, because I won't see them around anymore, but I'm not super bummed to let this one go because it was just never that great. But it was fun while it lasted though, and it had some good stuff while I was here. So it was good. It treated me well while I had it. So Geek Me Box, we'll see you for your final box next month. And yeah, it's been fun. Next, number 11. Number 11 was One-Up Box. This started out as one of the better boxes out there, a really great box, like one of the best actually. And then it just kind of tapered off from there. As the months passed, it just kind of slowly declined, and this is kind of like them, I wouldn't say rock bottom or anything like that, but them just kind of doing that same cycle of going lower and lower. This t-shirt was incredibly awkward. I didn't like it, and I don't think anyone else did either. And the figures they have in there were incredibly cheap, not of good branding or anything like that. And the value's always good. They give you pretty decent value all the time. You almost always get double your value, but it's a lot easier on such a cheap box. So this one just has not impressed me at all. I got the August box. It's definitely better, and we'll talk about that when I do that review, but it did get better because I feel like they have to compete with Super Geek Box now, because they were once the same company, and now they're like identical twins, but separate. So I think they're trying to compete now, which is a good thing. They needed competition. They needed someone at their level to compete with to push them to do better. So I think they're going to pick it up again. Like, I don't think I'm going to cancel this one, even though it's been bad lately, because I feel like it's going to get good again. Or hopefully, fingers crossed. So hopefully that is what happens with this box. But we'll see. Like, we'll see what the future holds. But this one didn't get an incredibly good score, and the One-Up Box has always been known for their awkward t-shirts. They always have bad t-shirts. They really awkward crossovers. It's always Mario, by the way, which I think is weird. And people have said because it's One-Up Box, and the One-Up comes from Mario, and it's like, fine, but they don't have to do Mario every month. They could change it up and do a different shirt, like a different brand, like just mix it up. It's just weird to get Mario crossovers every single month. And the crossovers are weird and awkward, and they don't fit together, and they push it too much, and it's too much. I've never been a fan of the shirts, but I think they're going to start changing things, so I'm excited to see where they go. So, if you're looking for just a cheap box, this is still like one of the cheapest out there. If you're just new to the whole subscription box thing, and you're just looking for a cheap option, check this one out. It's definitely not a waste of money at all. You definitely get your money's worth. It's just not the best quality stuff. So, like I said, these are the best of the best. Normally this would be higher on the scale, but now it's number 11. It's pretty far down. So moving on, number 10. And number 10 was Betoyo Bento. Now, this box, again, August will be the last month for this box as well, but that's nothing against this box per se. This has always been a good box. It has really good stuff in it, good quality stuff. Things you're never going to see in America, things you're never going to see in any other box in America. So, really good stuff. The only reason I'm canceling it specifically is because I just don't know enough about the genre. It's an anime style box or a Japanese style box, and I always recognize some things, like August has a Mario thing, and this month had a Pokemon thing, so I recognize like one or two, but then there's a bunch of really cool stuff in there that I just have no idea where it's from very specific anime that are out there. And it's like, it's really cool stuff, but it just goes so unappreciated for me because I just don't know enough about it. So that's the only reason I'm canceling. But if you are interested in anime and are looking for an anime box, I would highly recommend this because it is genuinely a good box. I really like it. It is more expensive. It's $38, but that's not too crazy because that includes shipping. So to get something in America, that's not that bad, and you do usually get your money's worth. And like I said, variety is like top-notch here. You're always getting good variety. You're always getting a good mix of stuff, and I promise you're going to get things you've probably never seen before. So that's a really good thing, but I just wish I could appreciate it more. I wish I knew more about anime so I could really appreciate this box. But anyway, the reason it gets lower on the rating scale is because the ratings I'm giving are for the general population, are for everyone out there. Boxes get a higher rating if they can appeal to everyone, and a lower rating if they can't. So all the ratings and scales I'm giving is not based on me and my opinion. I put my opinion out there, but I don't rate it based on my own opinion. It's on the opinion of you guys, on the viewers, from the comments I get, from the messages I get, from the conversations I've had, from just all that stuff all compiles into this. So basically what you guys like is what gives this the ratings, not me. So you guys play a huge part in this. And I think that same story with me, like, I don't think everyone could appreciate this. I think a select few people would absolutely love this box, but most people, again, wouldn't recognize it just like me, wouldn't know a lot of the genres and shows and stuff that relate to it. So for that reason, that's why I got a little bit lower, and for pretty much that reason only. Because other than that, I think it's still a really great box, and it had cool figures in there, so I thought it was cool. So yeah, number 10, Betoyo Bento. Number 9. Number 9 was Geek Fuel. So, when we get around the middle here, the best way to think of this rating system is like low, mid, and high. Don't get too caught up on exactly what number it is. So we're going into the mid-tier now. So, all the boxes in the mid-tier are pretty closely related, pretty similar on the same plane. But I just had to put them in a certain order. But anyway, Geek Fuel. Something to note about it, you're always going to get a game code. But luckily, they started putting the cheaper game codes in there, which I appreciate, because for a while they were putting really expensive game codes, and it was eating up a lot of the value of the box, and you couldn't always use the codes, because some Steam games don't work on Mac, some only work on PC, so there was a whole mess of problems. But now they've started putting cheap $10 game codes in, so if you end up not using it, it's not that big a deal, because you get a lot of other stuff in the box. And something I really like about this company is there's very obvious things in here that show that they genuinely care. Not just about nerd culture, but about their customers. Things like putting certificates of authenticity in their comic books. Things like bag and boarding in their comic books. Things like putting high quality posters that aren't shit quality. Things like that show that this is a good company. Now, they don't always hit the mark. They've had, their t-shirt was kind of weird looking this month. It wasn't super great. And they've had that problem in the past. And game codes can't be used by everyone. They can be used a lot. But even if you can use the game codes, sometimes the games aren't that great. And sometimes they aren't that as expensive as they claim they are. And blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of ifs and buts about it. It's still a good box. And you still get your money's worth. But it's not always, super amazing. But I still like this company, and I keep them around because of the things I said. You can tell that they appreciate their customers. You can tell they appreciate the merchandise, the product, so on and so forth. So I like that about a company. It's cool to have faith in a company that if they have the power, they will choose to do the right thing. They're not in it for the money. They're not in it to make a quick buck. They're in it to genuinely, because they want to please people. They want to make people happy. And I've seen this about this company a number of times. So I personally really appreciate that, and I hope you guys do too. So that's something great to note about this box. But other than that, the value is always okay. You get way more than you paid for it, so you always get your value's worth. Pretty close to double, but that's including the game code and stuff. So if you're a Steam gamer and you often use Steam game codes, I would totally go for this box, and it's absolutely for you. If you're not as much of a PC gamer or a Steam gamer, then still worth it, but take that into consideration before ordering from this company. That's something to note because they're in every box. So, that's enough about Geek Fuel. Moving on. What are we on? It's 9, number 8. Number 8 is Comic-Con box. So I thought this box was fine. I personally enjoyed it. But the reason it got lower on the rating scale, or on the scale here, like 1 to 12, was because of what I heard feedback from you guys. A lot of people did not like it and were very displeased with it. Specifically, the people that had ordered more than 1 month. Because from what I hear, they've been putting duplicate items in, which is a big no-no. Like, should you ever do that if you're a box company. And people notice that, people hate that because it's a waste. If you get a duplicate of an item, like, you're not going to use, for the most part, the things you get duplicates of, you're not going to use 2 of them. And one of the items was like the mustache, which is funny, it's entertaining, but you definitely don't need 2 of them. Like, 1 is more than enough. So, I hope they don't continue with that. They're a new company, so I hope that's just like a starting company thing. Like, maybe they're just trying to get their feet on the ground and like trying to make their way here. So hopefully it doesn't continue, because I would really hate to see that kind of thing continue. The other thing that's good and bad about it, they do nice quality prints, but again, they constantly have this bad habit of putting their logo on the print, which again, big no-no. Like, don't ever do that. Like, they're trying to push this off as art, which is great, but don't put your logo on the art, man. Like, that's crazy. Like, everyone I've talked to thinks that's equally as crazy, and it was pissed off about that. Like, I can't believe they do that. I can't believe the artist would agree to that, because it's a really nice print. I just don't want a logo on something I'm going to put on my wall. Like, that's ridiculous. So, and a lot of the other things in here were kind of filler, were not really special things about it. And something to note about this box is that people hear Comic-Con and they just go batshit crazy because they think of San Diego Comic-Con. But this box has nothing to do with San Diego Comic-Con. Literally nothing. They use the word Comic-Con, but that's anything. Wizard World Comic-Con and Comic-Con International are 2 completely different things. So if you're looking for San Diego Comic-Con stuff, do not order this box, because you're probably not going to get anything from there. You might, but don't count on it. So that's something that people need to know about this box right off the bat, because it confuses people and it disappoints a lot of people. So I think part of the problem was people got their hopes up way too high about this box and were disappointed. And a lot of the things in here were just kind of filler, were nothing amazing. We got a weird DVD and some other toys and stuff, so nothing really amazing about it, but I still like to see where it goes. It may not be around long, because this box costs $40. It's a very expensive box. And if you're putting that high of a dollar price point on it, they gotta deliver. If they're just handing out crap all the time, or if they're doing duplicates, then $40 is way too much to risk every month. That's a lot to pay every month. So we'll see how this does next month, and maybe 1 more month after that, and then if nothing good comes from it, it's out of here. That's just too much money to be spending every month. So that's why that got a lower place on the rating scale. So it is what it is. Comic-Con box. Alright. Number 7. Number 7 is Arcade Block. So, this company all around is a good company. I trust them, and they always put out a decent product at the least, if not a great product. So it's pretty safe ordering from them. The only thing I would probably not order from them is their comic block. That's the only one that really doesn't seem good and doesn't seem worth the money. If you're really into comics and you just want comics, then go for it. But other than that, I probably wouldn't go for that. Other than that, though, the rest of their boxes seem pretty good. You pay $30, you almost always get $50 in value. You get a good variety of stuff. They give exclusives. They have partnerships with different companies out there. So they do a good job. And you often get like exclusive comic books. And the cool thing is, like, the Nerd Block company owns T-Fury. Like not T-Fury, Shirt Punch. They own Shirt Punch, so they have licensing deals, so you don't have to get crappy crossovers all the time. They pay for licensing, so you actually get shirts that don't have to be awkward crossovers, that are actually branded, which is good. But at the same time, you don't get the top-notch shirts. You usually get overstock or things that aren't selling on the website, so their t-shirts, again, are always like, so-so. And this box specifically, this had a more specific taste to it. Obviously, if you're ordering Arcade Block, you're looking for video game stuff. Like, that's a given. So, obviously, you're going to be getting stuff like that. But it still needs to appeal to a broad audience. even though everyone plays video games, everyone recognizes characters, if they're picking two specific genres or like current games that maybe weren't that popular, then that's going to affect the rating. And I feel like they did for this. The pop they gave him here was from a game, Evolve, and from what I heard, it didn't do very well. It wasn't a very good game, it wasn't rated well, and it wasn't popular at all. So to see items like that, even though it's a video game, they're still in theme, it's still like, well, you're picking things that aren't very popular. And the pop itself was very generic looking. There wasn't anything special about it. And the t-shirt thing, so we got a double t-shirt month, which is never like wanted. It's okay, but it's never a good thing because you get so many shirts. It doesn't matter how many boxes you get. Almost every box has a shirt in it almost every month. So when you get one with two shirts, it's like, that's fine. You can always use t-shirts, but you just having two in there, it's just like, okay, like I wish it would have been something else. And also, they put in a shirt that wasn't in theme. You got one shirt that was in theme and one shirt that was out of theme. So I got a Hannibal shirt, which was horror theme, which is fine, but it's from a TV show that was recently canceled. So again, that's what I'm saying about the shirts in this box. They kind of put in shirts that they don't sell on the website. So obviously the show got canceled. They have a bunch of these Hannibal shirts. They have nothing to do with them. So what do? Pop them in a bunch of boxes and give them out for paying customers that are just mystery stuff. So you often see things like that where they're just putting in stuff to try and like get rid of clearance items. And this is a perfect example of a canceled show, of something not in theme, because obviously if you wanted horror stuff, you'd buy Horror Block, not Arcade Block. So nothing wrong with horror, but if you wanted it, you would get that. So having an unwanted genre, something out of theme, was not a good call, and that's why it got lower, because usually this is much higher up. Usually this is in the top like 3 or 4, but this month, because of that double shirt, and because of having it out of theme and some generic stuff, this got much lower on the rating scale than it normally does. So this was one of their not so good boxes, just in general, like not their best month. And I think that can be said about the month of July in general. It wasn't a great month. I feel like it switches off between good and bad like every other month, because they save up to do one good stuff and then the next month is just like rollover stuff. So in general, the month of July just wasn't that great. Like there was not too much that really blew me away. A lot of stuff skated by, which makes me hopeful for August, but that's just kind of how it was for the month. So alright, so that was number 7. So now we're in the top half, the top 6. So let's take a look at what we got. Alright, in the top half, moving on with number 6. Let's take a look. We got Power Up Box. So this box has always been like pretty decent. Well, I had a problem with this box because the issue I had was the box was too small. They normally ship it in this very big container, but this month came in a very small box. Everything was squished in there. The comic showed up damaged because it was crammed in there so much. So that was kind of disappointing. But I found out that it was not done intentionally. This company offers 2 types of boxes, a premium and a deluxe, which both sound like the same thing, but they're not. One's lesser and one's better. One is a $20 box and one is a $30 box, not including shipping. So obviously this is the cheaper version, and I ordered the more expensive version. So what happened was they ran out of their bigger boxes, like the actual box size, so they just stuffed all their crap in this smaller one and then sent it to me. So it's both good and bad, because it's good because it was just a fluke. Hopefully it won't ever happen again, and I won't have to deal with this problem again. But it's bad because I did have to deal with this problem. Like, I did get a smaller box and my shit came damaged for it. So I'm not going to like throw a big fuss about it because it wasn't that great anyway, but it's just like small things like that where it shows like sometimes companies are just pushing out a product. They're just doing it to like make money and things like that. On a side note, I still have not received my August box because I've had insurmountable problems with this company trying to just get my regular monthly box. And I'll go into that if I ever get my August box. I'll go into that in the review, but I'm having quite a few problems with this company, so hopefully we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, this box specifically, comic did come damaged, but at least it was a number 1. The good thing about this box is that the shirts are always branded. They're never like crappy print quality. And they're never crossovers. They're actually branded from Marvel or Star Wars or wherever they come from. So that's really nice to see. So you very, very rarely see that in boxes. So the quality is there. But this box, again, just like everything in the month of July, just wasn't their best. They've had good ones, and they were getting better and better, and they kind of took a dip down. It was okay. There was nothing wrong with it. They had good stuff in here, but they definitely could have been better. Like they seem like they kind of skated by a little bit on this month. So this box has a lot to make up for, because this is one of the most expensive boxes. This is a $40 box. So that's expensive. Like I said about some of the other boxes, that's a lot to pay every month. $40 a month. So that's kind of a lot. So you kind of want to get something pretty spectacular if you're shelling out that much money every single month. So they do pretty good. They always give around like $60 value, maybe a little less than that. So you get about 50% more than you pay for on average, which is good. That's decent, getting 50% more. So that's a good value. It's not great, but it's good. You're never going to get double with this box, I can guarantee that. There's no way you're getting $80 worth of value ever. So you're probably always going to get around 50% more than you paid for, which is good enough. But you want good quality. So the shirts are always nice quality, which is good, but sometimes the items they pick aren't always top-notch. But hopefully that changes in August, and hopefully this was just a fluke of a bad month. So anyway, that's been number 6, Power Up Box. Number 5. Nerd Block. Classic. Classic Nerd Block. So, I always say this too. I get Arcade and Classic, and they kind of always flip-flop every month of which one's better. But they're always usually in like the top 5, with the exception of Arcade Block this month. Something I like about them, they have an exclusive license with Titans, so they're constantly getting exclusive Titans figures. The good and bad thing about Titans. Titans is a great company. They put out excellent products. They just don't always pick the best franchises. They pick ones that are well known, but not the most popular ones. When you look at things like Funko and like Loyal Subjects and stuff like that, they have big name franchises. They have Marvel, they have DC, they have Ninja Turtles, they have Star Wars and stuff like that. Whereas Titans, like, they have some well-known ones, but some lesser known. Like this one was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Everyone's heard of Buffy. There's no one out there that hasn't heard of it, but it wasn't the most popular series. So, not that it was bad, not that it was unpopular, but of the franchises out there, of just looking behind me, of the characters you recognize, Buffy's probably not the most recognizable. So this company has a lot of stuff like that, where it's not bad franchises, but it's not like the best. And they have some good ones out there, like they recently did their Ghostbusters one, which was cool, but a lot of like sci-fi specific stuff, and a lot of sci-fi TV shows, which are popular, but not for everyone. It's for a lot of people, but not for everyone. So you got an exclusive Buffy figure, which was cool, and you get your normal Shirt Punch shirt. But this shirt was actually really good. I actually thoroughly enjoyed this, and I think most people would. Got an exclusive comic and some nice figures. So again, this box is always like pretty standard. It's always a good box. Every once in a while you get an amazing one. This one was good. Didn't blow my mind or anything, but it was definitely a good box. Definitely worth the money. Again, you always usually get around $50 worth of value. This one you got a few dollars more than that, so pretty close to double. You got a great shirt. You got an exclusive item. Whether or not you love that item, like the Buffy franchise, is to the individual. Like, you'll have to decide for yourself whether you liked it or not. But other than that, they always put like a good mix of stuff in there. And they're always pushing the envelope. They always try to do things new and interesting. They always usually put at least one item in there that's out of the ordinary, that you probably haven't seen before, which I appreciate. So you can imagine someone like me that gets this many boxes, something out of the ordinary is very much appreciated. So I like things like that, and I think other people do too. Because from the people I talk to, specifically the people that are willing to listen to me like blab for an hour, are usually the people that buy more than one box. So variety is a big deal. So again, the Nerd Block company in general is a great company. I don't think you could ever really go wrong with them. But just things to note, like you're going to get around $50 worth of value. Pick the box, which is to your interest, obviously. If you like horror, if you like games, if you like general stuff. And I hope they do more boxes. I hope they do more franchises. Like I kind of hope the comic block was going to be about comic book characters. It didn't turn out that way, but hopefully they do more. Maybe they'll do like an anime style one eventually or something like that. I hope they do more types of blocks because I'll totally order. Like I think they're a great company, so I'm excited to see what they do in the future. But anyway, that has been number 5, classic nerd block. All right, number 4. Super Geek Box. So, last month, I think this took the number 1 spot. There may have been like something, maybe Marvel did, I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, this was right up there. This did fantastic for their first month. Their second month, however, was not as good. Definitely not bad at the number 4 spot, not bad at all. But not as good as their first month, which I'm not surprised at all. Like I said, companies do this. They'll do a good, they'll do a bad. They kind of teeter all over the place. It's hard to find companies that are consistent. So this one you got good stuff. You got a good mix of stuff. And they always do good shirts. They have to do crossovers and things like that because they're a cheaper box. They can't afford licensing. But they do a good job, though. Their shirts have been very impressive. Their style of shirts and everything like that have been very, very impressive. And I think everyone liked this shirt. I mentioned in my review, I think they overdid it with the little logo of theirs. Logos are fine, but I think they overdid it by putting the word exclusive so huge. They could have toned it down a little bit, and I think a lot of people didn't like it because of that. But other than that, it was a great shirt. And it had printing on the back, which is something you never see. So their t-shirts are very nice, like top-notch quality. So I really like that they're putting in like a lot of thought and effort to make nice quality shirts. So I really like this company. And the cool thing about this, like I said about 1UP Box and Super Geek Box, they originally were one company. These two guys started 1UP Box, had creative differences, so they split apart, and then the other guy made Super Geek Box. So they're very, very similar. Very similar. Items in there are often almost identical. But it seems like Super Geek Box is kind of taking the torch right now. So 1UP Box has some catching up to do, and I think they're doing that. I think they're noticing that. So they're both really great boxes. They're both very cheap. And the best thing about it is they have an amazing referral program. They give you a custom link, and you can share it wherever, Facebook, Twitter. If someone uses your link to purchase something from them, you get a $5 credit. If you do 4 of them, you get a free box. In a month, just to refer 4 people is not that difficult, especially for someone like me. It's not that hard to find 4 people that just want to try out this box, even once, because it's not that expensive, and it's cool stuff. So the fact that you can do that, referring 4 people in a month, and get free boxes is amazing. They have by far the best referral program of any box out there. So that's something that always keeps these companies around, even if they do a bad month. Because worst case scenario, I'm getting $5 off in a month, which makes this box only $10 or $12. That's just barely anything to spend compared to these other boxes. So that's really fantastic, and I hope other boxes do the same thing, even though I know they won't. But I think that's really cool. So that's something cool to note about this box. Not to mention it's one of the cheapest boxes out there, and they do put in some good quality stuff. So I'm pretty pleased with this. This is only their second month, but we'll see what August holds and then go from there. So anyway, now we are in the top 3, the final 3. So we are officially now in the top tier of boxes. So let's see what we got. Number 3. F-Box. So, some stories to tell about F-Box. They're cool. They're a great company. Very difficult to get. So very limited in their supply of what they sell because they always have exclusive stuff. Not exclusive stuff that they make themselves, unlike other boxes. Exclusive stuff that they find and put in the box, which is pretty amazing. It's really cool to see stuff like that. So the fact that they always have exclusives means they have a very, very limited supply. Now, which makes it almost impossible to get. I myself have only gotten like 2, I think. So this became a problem, and F-Box has now stopped making box because they apparently got death threats from one of their customers that couldn't get a box or something like that, and now they've stopped making the box, which I don't blame them for. Like, if I put this much thought and effort into a company and a box and someone insulted me like that, I'd be offended too. So I don't really blame them for doing that. It just really sucks that some asshole out there has decided things for us. Someone was just being a total prick and made some death threats, and then now everyone has to suffer for it. So I think that's the part that sucks. I wish we could find this guy and make him suffer for it, like make him go through something. It's just a bummer that now everyone has to suffer. So there's no guarantee that they're done forever, but they said it could be forever. They said they may not ever do it again, and they don't have much of a reason to, because I doubt they make a ton of money off of it. They were kind of just doing it to be nice and make good products, so it's a bummer we may never see this box again. But anyway, we got 100% exclusive stuff from either Comic-Con or from Fugitive Toys, so you got exclusive stuff, and they had some pretty good choices. It wasn't like top-notch San Diego Comic-Con stuff, but it was still cool stuff to see, and for people that don't get to go to Comic-Con, which is pretty much everyone, it's still like cool to get a taste of the things that are there, so that's very nice to see. So you got really good value. When you consider how much things are worth in here, how much they sell for, you got very good value. You got almost like, you got more than double, like way more than double, not quite triple, but very high on the value scale. The things they picked were not like I said, not amazing. They probably wouldn't blow anyone's mind, but at least they were exclusive, and at least they were cool items nonetheless. You got some cool comics and a couple of figures, so can't really hate on that too much. And it's from Comic-Con, so good stuff all around. It mostly got higher on the scale because it just had tremendous value, and I think it would appeal to general audiences. I don't think it's going to amaze anyone, but I think everyone would like the stuff that's in there in general, so I think it would appeal to most people. But again, the problem with this box, it already was difficult to get, and now it's officially impossible to get because they've stopped doing it. But fingers crossed, hopefully that this one person hasn't ruined it for everyone. Hopefully they do start doing it again, and hopefully I can get another one as well as many other people that can share in this. So I hope this isn't the last time we see them, but if it is, I think they did a pretty good job, so they got the number 3 spot. So congratulations to you, F-Box. Number 2. So I said the month of July, very unimpressive. I was not impressed by most of the things that happened in the month of July with boxes in general. But this was an exception. This one I was very impressed by. The number 2 spot, Loot Crate. I personally think this is the best Loot Crate that's ever been. I was very thoroughly impressed by everything in here. We got an exclusive figure, which I've already set up, from Q-Pop, which is going to be a huge company, by the way. They have so much cool stuff coming out, so I hope we see more exclusives from them, because I really love that company. We got a really cool multi-tool, and we got an awesome book. An update on this, though. I did find out, which was rather disappointing, about the book. And I said in my review, I could have swore I've seen a book like this before, and it turns out I was right. This book, they say exclusive. Loot Crate is crazy about the word exclusive. They always put in exclusive stuff, but it's always really shitty exclusive. They use that word way too much. They plaster it all over the place, and they get people's hopes up, and then they let them down. So the book they gave in here was not technically exclusive. Well, technically it was, but here's the deal. So a book just like this exists in stores. In bookstores, you can buy it, but a bigger version of the book. This is exclusive, but the only thing exclusive about it is that it's smaller. The book exists, a full version of this book. They basically took that book, cut it in half, and then put it in the box. And they said, well, this is exclusive now. It's like, technically you're right, it is exclusive, but the only reason it is exclusive is because you removed content from it, which is a really shitty move, and I hate that they do that. So, like I said, they kind of do anything they can just so they can stamp the word exclusive on the item. But at this point, I would have rather not had an exclusive. I'd rather have the full book. I don't give a shit if it's exclusive. I'd rather have good products. So give me the full book. don't say it's exclusive and make customers happy. Like, that's such a weird thing to do, to take material out of the book just so they could say it was exclusive. I think that was kind of a dick move, and they're constantly doing things like that. They're constantly like kind of going under the radar and kind of like pulling shifty moves just so they can say it's exclusive. It's exclusive to our box. You can't get it anywhere else. And it's like, technically they're right, but like, could you, like, it's hard to say it is though. Technically they're right, it's exclusive, but it's such a shitty thing to do that. It's still a good book, and I liked it, but now I'm just wondering all the information that's not in there, and I would have rather had the full book. So I hate that they do that. I hate that they push exclusives so much. Like, we don't care. Like, at the end of the day, exclusives are great, but we'd rather just have good products. I'd much rather have 0 exclusives with good product than exclusive half quality. So I really am bummed out that they did that, but even considering that, they still put out a really great box. They still have partnerships with Funko, with Q-Pop now, and with other companies, so they have some really good partnerships, so expect some awesome exclusives in the future from this box. Not to mention that it's only $20, and you often get nearly triple your value on this. So the fact that you're getting exclusives and good quality stuff and nearly triple your value half the time, like, there's really no argument about it. This month specifically was great. They don't always hit the mark, but this month was awesome, and you always get really good value. So that's something to look forward to. And if you're starting out just trying to order one box and maybe have never ordered one before, I think Loot Crate is a good place to start. I think this is a good starter box for people that are just getting into this whole thing. So that was number 2, long spiel. So what do we got for number 1? So for the number 1 spot, well, first of all, number 1 is Digital Grey Box. I just did my review of it, and I had an inner conflict about whether or not to put this in the monthly countdown, because it almost seemed unfair at a point. Like, this box obviously blew all the other ones out of the water, especially for the month of July, because a lot of the July boxes kind of sucked. But this month, just like, there's no box that could even compete with it, because it did so amazing. So it seemed unfair to put it in the countdown, but at the same time, I couldn't think of a reason not to put it in the countdown. Because, you know, this company, this person's playing by all the rules. They're a box company. You give them money. They have a theme. They send you a box with product. Like, I really couldn't think of a reason not to put it in the countdown. Just because they did it so much better, I don't think that should be counted against them. But anyway, this company is run by kind of one person at the time, so you're getting custom stuff, you're getting one-of-a-kind things in this box that no box is ever going to give you. You're never going to get custom stuff, or for the most part, in any of these boxes, because it's just too difficult to do. They have so many customers, they have so many thousands of boxes they put out, they can't put custom stuff in each one. It's just impossible. It's not possible for them to do, and it's not even expected. So the fact that you can get things like that in a box is amazing. And this was a Spawn themed box, so the fact that I got a theme that was really difficult to do, a character I really love, exclusive stuff like one-of-a-kind custom things, and on top of that, you got pretty much triple the value. Like, and that was like being conservative on a lot of the value I gave. So it was pretty much perfect. Like, there's really not much better you could do. So you got the touch of, you got the kindness and detail and thought of an individual in a box, which is just very rare to find. A lot of these boxes are big companies, and it just feels like that. It feels like you're dealing with big companies that don't really care about the individual. They're just doing stuff for the general population, which is fine and understandable, but it's just awesome to see a box that's like specifically tailored to me. It's a really special thing, and it's a very rare thing. This is going to be probably the rarest box out there that I'm ever going to deal with. So the fact that everyone can't order it made me hesitant to put it in the countdown, but it's kind of up to you. So if you think this box doesn't belong in the countdown, then just kind of wipe it from the record. Number 2 moves to number 1. Everything shifts up a place. It doesn't really matter what number it gets. It's just more about the order of the boxes. So if you don't think it belongs in the countdown, just erase it and put everything else in a different number. No big deal. If you think it does, it's still number 1. So I thought I might as well put it out there and put it in a place so people know where it belonged. And then if you accept that, it's totally up to the individual. So you guys can decide for yourself. But anyway, this really was an amazing box. Probably the best one I've ever gotten. And it really had a personal touch to it, which is really amazing. I'm really excited to see where this company goes, what this guy does with his company. I'm excited to see if he develops it and tries to make it bigger and bigger. Because Aboxalypse sounded like a really good company, and then they went out of business. So I hope he can do what they couldn't do. I hope he does get business, takes on more clients, and eventually grows the company. Because it would be amazing to get this out there to a lot of people. That would be really incredible. And I'm super thankful that I was able to get one of these. So special thanks to you, and I really appreciate that. So that was the number 1 spot, and those are my thoughts on it. That's pretty much it. I tried to speed through this the best I could. This is probably one of the shorter Ultimate unboxings I've done. So hopefully now that I have the studio up and running, I can get caught up on videos. So right after this one, we're going to jump into the boxes of August and try to get through those before September rolls around. So once I get caught up with videos, I'm going to try some new stuff. I'm going to do some different types of videos and see how that goes. Also, now that I've weeded out some of the bad boxes, and once I get caught up again, then I can start trying out new boxes again. That's something I haven't done in a long time. I just haven't had time to research and find out good companies. So I hope to do that again because I want to give a better variety. I don't want it to always be the best of the best. I want to try out new companies and give them a chance and spread the word and try out different businesses. So I hope to do that in the near future. So anyway, if you watched up until this point, you are amazing. You are an incredible viewer that you watched this much of me talking. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this has helped. Because at the end of the day, what this is about is you guys. This is about the community. This is about doing something for the community. This is me offering a service to you, just trying to help out. So I hope that I was able to accomplish that. And for anyone watching for the first time, feel free to come hang out. Comment on anything you like, ask any questions. I try to get around to comments the best that I can. At one point, I replied to every single comment, but at this point, it's just not possible anymore. And trust me, I've tried. I really, really have, but it's just not possible with 4,500 subscribers. I just can't do it. So I'm always going to like every single comment on there so you know that I read it. So you know that you're just not talking to no one. So if you ever make a comment, I will like it so you know that I have read it, and I will reply to as many as I can. But please note that my time is very limited, and there's thousands of comments that come along every week, so I'm trying my best. So if anyone ever asks a question, I'm always going to answer questions. Those always get priority, and then I'll try to talk as much as I can in between. So if you don't get a response to a comment, or if you don't get a like right away, just realize, don't take it personally. It just takes time. Sometimes it takes me a week to catch up, so just keep that in mind. But there's also a Beardy Nerd community fan page. Feel free to go on there and talk about anything you like. If you want to buy, sell, trade stuff, feel free to go on there. We also have a Geek Talk coming up. I'm doing another episode of Geek Talk with Johnny Tellez, Average Techie, and Grumpy Nerd. And also Robert Jarek from the CEO of Collectible Geek. We're doing an episode with him, so lots of stuff to look forward to. There's plenty of places to find me. Don't hesitate to contact me. I always love talking to you guys because, like I said, it's about you guys. So, rambling. Anyway, I hope I was able to help you in some way decide on what you might like. I hope I was able to steer you in the right direction to help you decide on what box might work best for you, because that's what I'm here for. So anyway, this has been the Beardy Nerd. This has been my ultimate unboxing. Let me know what you guys think. Hope to talk to you all soon. Thank you for watching. Love you all. Peace.